Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. Got the sound coming through here. I had to kill that. Dave here. How are you? Today is the 13th of June. Nearly the end of the financial year and into winter. It's nice and cold. Not that I like it nice and cold, but anyway, it's nice and cold. It's a nice saying. On the show today, and I tell you what, I probably haven't brought down my run sheets. They'll be here somewhere, but maybe not. All right, I got to wing it again. So today, everything's good. Excellent. All right, so today on the show, we're going to do some sliding dovetails and also some ordinary dovetails. These are using Cole's jig, the Gifkin's jig, and I'll show you how nice they go together. That is just beautiful. And then on the end, I have created a sliding dovetail as well. And this is how we're going to hold the shelves into this unit we're making. So the dovetails are going to sit like this. So you'll see the dovetails are here. They're going to be in the sides of this unit. Mechanical strength, you cannot pull that down that way because the dovetails are wedges out like so. So that's that. And then, as I said, the sliding dovetail is how we're going to put the shelves in. So it's not going to go anywhere, and it's just beautiful. Watch this. Super strong joint. What do you think of that? Magic. All right. Now, before we get into that part, what I need to do, I've done the socials. You'll probably get some messages on Facebook and all that kind of stuff in a minute as well. Oh, you might be curious. I put another bandsaw blade in the bandsaw and did some ripping during the week. And this is from that chunk of log. Now, the reason I didn't use this particular bandsaw blade, it's got a little woof in it. So every rotation of the blade, it goes dink, dink, and it leaves these marks in the cut, where the other blade didn't leave marks at all, but it didn't cut a very nice cut. It was doing all this horrible stuff. And it was a little bit embarrassing to say the least. Anyway, there's a piece that I've cut and put it through the thickness planer. And we're going to use this for the back of the unit. But that'll be next week. So this week, we're going to work with the cedar, the Australian cedar, this stuff, to make the unit. This is the same kind of timber I built that box. Remember I built a box with dovetails and all that kind of stuff around about 3 months ago? Came up quite nice, very happy with it. Anyway, so this has still got a bit of a woof in it, this timber, because I bought this at a show and it was, you know, leaning up against the wall and it's a bit twisty here and there. So I'm going to cut it down to the width that I want, but I'm not going to use the table saw or my track saw. I'm going to use the bandsaw, because if you want to cut timber that might be a little bit wobbly and you don't want it to catch and have kickback at you, a bandsaw is the best way, because the blade is just going straight up, straight down, I should say. That's all it's doing. It's not rotating and wanting to throw anything back at you. So I will take these over. There's a couple that I've got to do. This one here also. The reason this is a different color is because I think this has been painted with sanding sealer to make it look really sexy in the store when I got it from. So I'm going to cut this on a diagonal, and I'll get the two sides out of this. You'll notice that I've also written some notes for myself in chalk. Cedar is a very soft timber. I don't want to dent it. And I'm guessing also, because of the way I'm going to do this with the Gifkin's jig, I'm hoping that Cole is going to be watching, because I'm going to ask him a couple of questions when I do this, because it's not a straightforward, basic way of doing it. He was telling me yesterday the uneven-sided box is the way to do it. I didn't get a chance to watch that again, so we'll see how we go. A viewer's project as well. Now, I'm going to give you a fair warning. If the show goes over today, I'm going to keep going. It might go over 10 minutes, it might go over half an hour, it might go over an hour. I do want to get this finished today so that we're ready to, I'm going to do some inlay in this during the week, and I'll show you how I've done that. I'll video it, and then next week we'll glue the job together and we'll start on the back and try and get this job finished off. Because then after that, we're going to start doing some resin work. So there's plenty coming, plenty coming. I'm going to switch cameras and wish me luck. All right, a quick read down the side here. Morning, everyone. Snow, no snow in Brisbane. Morning from Wayne. Morning from Russell. Kiwi 007. Plenty of snow. Morning, Michael. Hello from Skip Florey. Fix it. G'day, how are you? Morning, morning all. All right, let's go to the other camera where I've got things set up. You're voting one for a long stream today. Well, maybe you don't have anything to do today. Let me have a quick look down here. I've set a couple of other things up in the workshop today that might be really enjoyable to watch. Also, I've got eye muffs. An eye muff competition. If you have a look down in the description box, let me come around the front again. I've got a raffle copter thing running. Come around here for these guys here. It will be a pair of this style. It's not the G6. I prefer these ones in the workshop. These things work really well for me. Let me do that and that and that. First thing I said I was going to do is rip this down to 200. So I'll set my bandsaw down to 200 millimeters. I don't need to have the blade all the way up there. So I'll drop it down. I also had a lot of people apparently suggesting all the different reasons why the blade was really wonky last week. Thank you for all of those insights, but it was just a stuffed blade. That's all there was to it. I do have the tension on my bandsaw. The tension on this one is when you have the lever down on this particular machine. So it's all good. Turn her on. And as I'll rip this one down to 200 millimeters wide. Isn't it lucky that I've put all these instructions on? This side I have jointed a bit. So we're going to push this through there. And hopefully it's all going to go well. Wait for the dust extraction to work. There we go. Now you can see why I love this machine. It's a great saw. Good blade, or reasonably good blade, and away you go. All right, now I'm going to take it over to the jointer. Well, in a minute, I've got to cut this other one. Now I have to follow, I'm going to go a bit slower on this one. I'll move the fence out of the way because I've actually got to follow this line and it's very dark. So I've got to be careful with it. So there's the side of the camera unit. Here's the other side, and hopefully they're close to the same size. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'll rip these ones down. These ones are nice and straight, so I can rip these down to width. I'm going to take them down to 20 millimeters thick. I'll raise this up, come around this side. Make sure I've got clearance, which I have. That'll do me there. Lock it. Down to 20. Now I could run this through the thicknesser and be done with it, but then I'm going to throw away cedar that I could possibly use as a veneer further down the track. So I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to measure this to make sure is the correct width. 20 mil, yep. these fences are normally pretty good, like the scales, but every now and then I look at it and go, just want to make sure. You know what they say, measure twice, cut once? All right, I'm going to put this one through this way, and I'm going to use this. These things are fantastic. On the end here, it's got these little things that can drop out and lock away as well. So I'm going to push them through. And so when I'm pushing against the board, like this, it's a positive grip on it. So I'm not just relying on the grippies tape on the bottom. All right, and also I can put it on there and they push out of the way. So I'm going to push this through here. Section, there was a previous cut here. I've got to go very carefully here. Done. No, I didn't want to waste that. That's perfectly good cedar. There's the cut. Do the other one. Again, another great cut. Turn that off. All right. I love it. Great saw. Now, move those out of the way. Going to go down to the jointer, and we're going to flatten this board out. And then we'll come back down to there and do some work to these other ones that have got the angle on them. So I'll take this down here. I'll bring the camera down here in a second. I'll switch these cameras around. We'll have a quick chat. I'll have a quick read down here. It's not Groundhog Day today, buddy. Heard of 1 1/3 TPI. I've never actually seen one. Okay, so the new blade that I'm getting is exactly the same as the old blade. I asked if they could sharpen. They said, Dave, just throw it away. So it is a 1 1/3 TPI, and it's a bimetal, and it's 19 millimeters. It's made in Sweden. It's beautiful. Okay. Gripper products are some of the best accessories. They are indeed. Self-made presents are always the best. Yes. Finished bed for a grandson. We're looking forward to seeing pics. There's a whole heap of chat there that I haven't seen. Okay, Rick, how are you? There we go. All right. So, I don't know how many people are watching, how many thumbs up. If you enjoy what's happening here, this is kind of an extended length project. It's not going to be a 15 or 20-minute video about doing something. Bang, 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 it's all done. This is live. This is real time. This is, you will see mistakes if I make them. Hopefully, I won't be making any mistakes, but they do happen. You know in your own workshop that they happen. I'll pick the speed up a little bit as I'm doing things today because I need to push through it. but at the same time, I will slow down and concentrate in areas where I really do have to focus hard. So if you're happy to do that, keep watching. Otherwise, if this is not your cup of tea, I'll see you later. Move this guy down here. And set it up there. That should be okay. I think about that. Come back down. All right, as I say, don't forget, eye muffs are in the description box down below. 4 teeth in 3 inches. That's a very good way of explaining it, Carl. I hadn't even thought about that. You see how we're doing over here. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, back down over here. Here I come down the side. Now I'm going to get my other gripper block. Let me have a look down here. All right, this has got a woof this way and a little bit of a twist. See that? So I'm going to try and get rid of that. So how I do that is, because of the width, I'll be taking that off. I'll advance the fence forward a little bit so I don't have so much of the head exposed to me. I'll make sure that can go all the way through. The machine's not on at the moment, so it's safe to put that there. Lock it again. Now as I push it through, I'm going to put a lot of weight onto the outfeed table, not so much weight on the infeed table. I'll take it down to around 2 millimeters. Because if I left it at 0.5 millimeter, I would spend a lot of time doing this. Now, I do have the auto blast gates happening here as well. I have one of those guys and another one of those guys. So I will be, remember these things here, they hook over the end. So if the grip isn't holding it, these little drop down fellows do. There's no affiliation with me in these things, I just know these are great. Here we go. Dust extraction. Beautiful. Now, I'm not going to push too hard. If I push too hard on it, I'll end up just listening to the timber. I'll end up flattening the board, and then when I take the weight off, it springs back. So all the weight is on that infeed, oh sorry, on the outfeed table. I'm going slowly on purpose, because I don't want to force it. Let's have a look. What a magic machine. What a magic machine. Let's have a look. A twist. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. And that, my friend, is super straight. Super straight. All right, I'm going to take it down the end and rip it, and then we're going to come back and put it through the thicknesser. So that'll be the next stage. I'm not going to move the cameras. I'll be down there. Talk amongst yourselves. Magic. Absolutely beautiful. That's the same thickness. Make sure those drop down. That's all good. Now you may or may not have noticed while I was doing that, that right at the end, I take, wait for that guy to close. There she goes, I love it. Right at the end, when I'm pushing here, see these guys here are hanging out. So right at the end, when I've got about half an inch or about 10 millimeters left to go, I move it to there when I'm cutting a thin piece off. The reason being I don't want to cut through these little plastic fellows. All right, as said, we'll flip this over this. I love this machine. Links in the box if you want one. All right, down here is where I'm going to take it up to height. This engages the rollers, which is the feed that pulls it through. Raise her up. This gauge here is very accurate. (20, 22, 21, 20). Let's see how we're doing with this. I'll just measure the thickness of this stuff. On 100 there, we're 21 millimeters. So I'll take it to 20 millimeters neat and lock it. I'll feed a cup, tip her up. I'll feed a couple of pieces in this side, then I'll move it around the other side and you can watch it. Actually, you know what? I'll put the camera on the other side straight off. There we go. And then I can have a look from here to check what it looks like. About there. Cole, good morning. Now you have to be hanging around because we're nearly at the stage where I'm going to start using your jig, and I'm going to ask you questions as we're going along, and you can jump up and down and say, Dave, don't do it that way. Remember, work from the red side. So we'll hook into that very soon. I've got the other few pieces down there. So I've got the top, the shelf, and the middle shelf. I think I've already taken to size. I will check that because I don't want to go halfway through the operation and then have to turn around. I'll bring them down. Yes, I've got these three parts that I've written on. That's the one shelf. There's another shelf. And this is the top. And you can see where I've been doing a little bit of practice on the sliding dovetail. All right, going to run these through. I want to make sure I run them through the right way. So basically we're not cutting against the grain. That one's got to go that way. That one's got very little difference in the grain. I'll come up close and I'll show you what I mean if you're not aware. See how these lines are rising up? So the grain is that way, which means I want to approach the cut this way. If I approach it from the other end, it's going to lift. It's not going to shear it off. So that one's got to come from that side. That one's that way, and that way. All right. Eyemuffs down while we do all this. Feed her in. I'm going to take it down to the same thickness that I've done all the rest of the material. Wait for the blast gate to open. There we go. You see the hose pull up then? Hopefully I've got this at the right height. That's looking pretty good. Can you see it all here? Look at that. Doesn't that just impress the stuffing out of you? I love it. Let's see how thick we are. And that's what it's set to. I love this machine. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take it down to the same thickness as the others. Now rather, I'll turn that off for a second. Rather than actually measure it, what I'm going to do, I'll spin this around this way a touch, is I'll put the pieces that I've already milled to size on my tabletop here, and this has all been made so that it's very, very level. And I'll put them side by side, and I can see I'm nearly the same thickness already, rather than just jumping in and saying, yeah, it's 20 mil. You know, there's about a millimeter there. I'm going to take it down to 19. Oh, not too far. 19 millimeters neat, which in the close enough to 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch is 19.05 millimeters. All right. Good. So it's those three pieces. We'll take them down. One more pass. I'm going to take the other side on this one. Funny grain, it's changing halfway through. Not to worry. I'm going to take this off on this one. Let's check that first. Pretty good. Cool. Now, whilst I have it all here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it together and get these two exactly the same at this stage. I will be mucking around and planing these things up a little bit, but I thought if I get these hooked in together right at the moment, I can dress them down. So what I do there is I need to lower the table underneath here, because I've got to be able to swing this guard over. Now let me spin this around. There we go. Maybe I should have done that earlier. Yeah, if I don't lower the table, I can't swing the guard over, which is the dust collection chute. I've disengaged the rollers. I take it down to about 170. That'll be fine. You see any dust? Man, oh man, this system works fantastic. Okay. All right, now, a couple of clamps. I'm going to clamp it right down there and do that. Now, I'm in a situation now where I can put it over there, but I've got to be very careful while I do that. So what I'm going to do is bring the fence forward as far as it'll do. So I have very little of the head exposed. Make sure that I can travel over everything, and I can't back there. So now what I'm going to do, see this is on the fly, I'm going to push it back to about there, and then I'm going to put the guard back on. Back to there. I can still walk around this. I can still get this through. It's always advisable to do a little test before you actually turn the machine on to make sure that things are going to work. But obviously the safest way to do this is to use a hand plane. But this is quick and I have it. Why not? I'll probably finish it off with the hand plane. Move that out of the way. Fire up. I'm on 2mm as we showed before. Go very carefully. Let's have a look. We're getting there. A little bit more to go. Nearly touching this one. There you go. Beautiful. I'm going to come around here and check that I've still got sound happening. I may even turn the main monitor around towards me. Turn this around, we'll have a quick chat. Actually, what we might do is, I was going to show you, I'd love to know where I put that paper, because it's got all the information. Let me have a look here. Is it under that? No, it's not. Look, give me a second. This is going to be a quick break. If you need to go to the toilet or whatever, do that now. I'm going to duck up to the office and grab this sheet and we'll have a look at the viewer's project. Just to have a quick break in the middle of this. It's gone past. Be back in a second. There we go. That's a lot easier. Right. Matt Hall. That's whose project we're going to have a look at. Some of his 3D printing and his little accessories that he's made for his MFT3. So back. All right. All right. Matt says, hi Dave, something a bit different and hopefully of interest. Following the completion of my home office project, do you remember that one that he did? Beautiful. I moved on to assembling a new tool for the workshop, a 3D printer. It's really going to open a lot of possibilities in creating parts, brackets, jigs, enclosures, and countless other items for future projects. I've really only been testing it up till this point and can't take credit for any of the models I've printed, but thought I'd show a few things I've printed so far and how a 3D printer can apply to a workshop. Excuse the mess. Let me go down to here. My MFT is currently home to a spill tray for resin experiments and temporary home for the 3D printer. Pics attached show some accessories I've made for the MFT and some gauges, radius, center finder, and small screw sorter. How cool is that? Bring on the standby music. You can hear me still, can't you? Brackets that slide in, let's have a look here. Brackets that slide into the extrusions around the MFT allow a scrap of melamine, there's a slit in there, and allow a scrap of melamine to be turned into a side table, making a convenient place. There's the side table. A convenient place to set down the TS55 or other items. A couple of hooks to keep a bag. Let me get down here. To keep a bag for rubbish, and a place to keep earmuffs at hand. Also printed a snap. There's the rubbish. A snap in cover for the TS55 that's supposed to help with dust collection by closing off the blade change access. Regards, Matt. Back to here. So what do you think of that? That's pretty cool. I was really impressed. I like that idea with the support for the TS55. On here, what I normally do is I pull this drawer here out and I just put the TS55 on top of that drawer, on top of the sustainer there, when I'm docking on this particular table. If I'm using this one for docking, the Stanton bench, well then I normally just have the track saw beside me. I pop it on a bench, or else I put it on top of the dust extractor. But that's pretty cool. All right, awesome ideas, aren't they great? Okay, now what we need to do is have a look at the plan. Now I think I've got a copy of the plan for this thing. So this, for those that haven't seen, this is what I'm making, this thing up here, which is a display box, shelf, whatever, that's going to be French cleated onto the wall of my office, and has my camera gear, because at the moment all the gear lives in cupboards and I forget it's there, because, you know, so I used to do it professionally. Now I just don't see it, so I don't use it. And I think that's a shame. I should be using it. I should be using it and enjoying it. Have a look at this. How good is that off that saw? You know, last week, that was terribly embarrassing. Nice work indeed. You're going to get any ideas from that, Derek? Yeah, there's some nice wood there. Beautiful. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is spin this monitor around so I can see what's happening down there. And then we're going to start focusing down here with the router table. This is the part that Cole's going to be panicking about. Spin this around like so. All right. That shouldn't be too bad. Should be able to see me there, what's happening. One of the things I've done during the week was I put the little Bluetooth unit on that runs the dust extractor over here. And it works here. And you'll see why when I start doing this sliding dovetail. So I'll just close this other one. I better shut. I've got to cut some things to length. What a wally. All right, spin this camera around over here. If I don't cut them to length, it's going to be a very, very boring project. Indeed it is. Round the other side. I'm going to get my exercise today. Camera 3. Yeah, that'll do. You're holding your breath, Cole. All right, this unit is 700 and 600. So I'll set up my sliding stop over here for the 700 lengths first. Now, why I'm doing that is because if I cut the wrong one to 600, well, then I can't kind of go back and fix it, can I? So, hence, that's what I'm doing. Tip her up a little bit. I'm watching what's happening out of the corner of my eye. All right, so these two side units are 600 units. And then all the other pieces, which are top, bottom, and the two shelves, they're all 700. Yep. And I'm going to dock the, actually I'm going to open that up again. close that one off for the moment. Come on, there. Right, we'll cut these. So I'll dock the end off first so that they're nice and square, making sure that I'm going to take the right end off. So you can see where I've been practicing the sliding dovetails here as well. I really do want to try and get myself sorted out as far as that was concerned. That can go on there. This one and this one, let's check the length. That one, don't go any less than that one, David. That's already got a piece. And then this one. All right. So, put them all on top there. Now, the reason I'm doing it as a stack is you don't get as much tear out if you've got the boards all on top of each other, if your saw can go through this particular thickness. All right, that's going to be too thick. I'll take one piece off. All right, all good, held. A little bit of a cut through the top. And then through the lot. Wait for it to stop, very important. So that's what I've got. They're all cut nicely. And then this one, I will also dock the end. The reason I do that first cut on top a little bit, then bring the saw back, is because I want the fibers on the top to be cut in a down motion, or at the very least a very shallow upcut. If I was to plunge the saw all the way down, you can see how the blade is wanting to come up, and it will cut all of the top fibers and split them, and it's tear out. But at the same time, on the underside, it's giving me a very clean cut because the blade is coming up into them. It makes sense. It really does. Okay, so we've got 700. I've already set that up. You watched me do that. We'll slide that in there. One of these pieces has got a little bit of bore in it, but I think we'll be okay. Making sure they're all pushed in nicely. I can swing this around to hold it down, and I can do that and show you how nice it is. There we go. It's not going anywhere. Let's do that cut again on the top. And then through the lot. Waiting, then lift. It's gone, not to worry. All right, out of the way. They're all ready, 700. And then this one. Swing this around again. If you've got it, why not use it? Up you go, out of the way. All right. These two guys have got to be 600. Let's have a look at what we've actually got. Bring this down to 600. It'll let me know if I'm going to be awfully shy or not. Now, when I say it's got to be 600, I made the rules up so I can make it 595 if I want to. But 600 is what I've aimed at. And I'm very, very close there. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dock those off, because there's only going to be a tiny little bit taken off it. Spin it over and bring this back 1 millimeter, and it'll be good. Leave it. Flip her over, bring it back one. Done. Let's see how we go taking all that off. I'll spin this one around again. Done. Nice. All right. Now, jig time. All right, let's switch it around. I'll do a quick read. I need a Mr. Squiggle. Save me reading back through all of that stuff. Tell me why we might have needed a Mr. Squiggle. I'll get the other camera and bring it over here while someone types that up. Alrighty. I may not even use this other camera for the moment, but there you go. The man from the moon. Yeah, I understand that, but just explain to me why we might need him. All right, where's the other gripper? It's down there. I'll bring these pieces over. Now, I won't be using the shelves at this stage. I'm going to be using the top and the bottom, and I will need to use the chalk. I'll be using the sides. That's a shelf. We'll leave that over there. That is the top. This is another shelf. We'll leave that over there. Now, those shelves are actually going to be cut a little bit shorter, so that's all good because they've got to fit inside the unit. You don't know, just going with it? Okay. All right, so this is the base. Where's my chalk? Because there it is. Okay, so base. This one has been ripped. So the important thing to do now possibly is bring this camera over here so I can let you focus on what I'm doing. Like so. Let's see how that goes. All right. You must like cold coffee. Yeah, yes he does. All right, okay, I've got that. Okay, now, very important part. Let's flip this up just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about at the same time. This is just like any box that Cole makes on his show. I need to mark the outside and the bottom. So basically, this box, I'll set it up just very carefully on the bench here so you can see what we're going to be doing. That, and up there. This is the top. Now, because of the way I'm making this, you can see I haven't ripped these pieces, this piece to the right height. I'm going to kind of do that after the box is assembled. I could rip this one now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like that, and I may even leave it like that as a feature out of the top. No, I won't. I'm lying. I'll cut that down, but the first thing I want to do is make sure that all of the back of the box is my reference, the back and the outside. And if I do that, it should work well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the standard face mark, like so. That is telling me that's my outside and this is my back. In the old days, or even now, we put that on the edge, okay? I'm using chalk because it's not going to damage the timber at all. And setting it up like this, I'm going to be making sure that I don't get it wrong. Now this one already has a mark on it, so rather than get confused, I'm just going to go over the top of it, like so. So it will be the outside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to label each corner. You may not have to do this, but I think it's just going to make life a little bit easier for me. A and A, B, B, C, C, D, and this one will also be D. D for David. All right. Now, that was easy. This is the interesting part. I want to work my dovetails first. The book says always do your dovetails first. So how we're going to set the dovetail up is we're going to use this little bit here, or you can use the base of the jig. So I'm going to set the cutter up to the right height. Now I have the dovetail cutter in there already, and I can touch this because it's all safe, because my little thing here that actually is mechanical for this switch to activate is out of it. So I'm pretty safe down here. Now I can put this on here and then bring the cutter up. You can see me down there. Actually, I might drop that down. Sorry about this, guys. I just thought it might make it a bit easier for you guys to see what's going on. About there. Okay. All right, children, you're keeping on watching Miss Jane, are you? All right, I'm going to put this out here to help support it. Now I have to bring that cutter up to be about 1/2 millimeter above this. So make sure that we're unlocked, and then I can raise my cutter up and then just fine adjust up until I'm at the right spot. That, my friends, is pretty good. Indeed it is. And I'm going to lock it there. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, close that. The next thing I'm going to do is have a look at the alignment. Now Cole's probably jumping up and down saying, Dave, quick, turn the backing board up the other way. You know what? All right, I'll do that. I did that on purpose, Cole, so that it would bring it to everyone's attention. Just got to find the screwdriver to do that. I'll use the little one. So I'm going to undo these. Because these are center of the jig. Oop, I don't want to lose any of those, so I'm going to tip this up this way while I do this. Now these here are the shims, and I've already done test cuts, so I know I've got the right amount of shims in there. Don't fall down this hole there where the router is. That would be a tragedy. Now if you're interested in these jigs, there is no affiliation between me and Cole and Pam, except for they are nice people. And they came down here. They drove a few hundred, as in 600 kilometres each way from Coffs Harbour, to show people how to use this jig on the show. And you know what? I appreciated that. I'm sure a lot of you guys also appreciated it. Okay, just priced at 2400 by 1200, 18 sheet of Baltic birch plywood. 241. Wow, that's a lot of money. New Zealand, I don't know how much they're charging in Australia at the moment. I haven't bought any for a little while. But I get mine from Trademaster. It says to use the dovetail cutter first, I think. Is that right, Cole? Start with the dovetail cutter first. Yes, of course it is. This is the side I'm going to be starting with first. There we go. I'm going to start with this side first. So we're going to use the red one here. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. And we're going to use the black one down here. It's lucky I stopped, isn't it? All right. Now I'm going to be cutting the dovetails. Oop, let me just tip that up a bit more. Like so. I'm going to be cutting the dovetails on one side only. Yes, again, beautiful. All good. The master has spoken. Eye muffs, wherever they are, just here. So it's going to be a little bit of noise, guys. You may want to turn the sound down. I'm not turning this dust extraction port on from there. I'm going to only use this one. So it's pulling down through the table and through the fence. And it makes a big difference. So I'm going to be holding here and here. And I think we're going to be good. Put this in. Turn her on. Alrighty. Holding here. A little bit of a chip there, but I'm not worried. That little clean out is very important. Good. Doesn't seem to be pulling as much as I thought it would up there, but not to worry. It is doing it. That's the important thing. All right, let's have a look at that. Do this little one first. Tear out there, but I think we'll be okay. I'm going to slow it down a little bit here and have a look. We're going to spin her around and we're going to change the cutter and take the yellow thing out, of course. razor up. Undo that. Gotcha. Take that one out, put the other one in. So I've got Cole there having a coronary. Peter, okay, Cole, are you saying, for example, A red, D black? Okay, let's have a look at that. Let me focus on changing the cutter first, guys. All right, so we need to set it up for the thickness. Again, they're all the same thickness. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I have to make sure that the pins will come through this. Correct, correct. Put this here underneath for the extra width. Wow, that's not bad. It's very close. Well, that's spot on. I can't get better than that. Sorry to confuse everyone. Yeah, just welcome to my world. Lock him there and spin this one over here. That's all down. I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to do it. You should ask Dave if you can use this as a training video. Yep. Okay. Here we go. The secret is, as was said earlier by Terence, make sure you're using your face mark to the actual jig. That's all there is to it. You can't do any other thing. So this one I'm going to be working to this side. This one I'm going to be working to this side. I'll come around this side. I'm not even going to test it. Go to the other side. It's all sitting down nicely. Here we go. And the other one, which is the top one. Yep. Sydney on the bush, that's right. You notice I'm not even testing. I'm hooking in. I don't dare look at it. It really isn't that difficult. They were correct. Yep. Well, I like to make things difficult. Didn't you know? Throw those down there. They can take off as soon as the dusty starts. Yep. All right, moment of truth. All right. Okay, D, A and B. So there's D, and there's the outside. Push that on. Beautiful. And C. And the top is here. Let's push that back out of the way a bit. To the outside. And the outside. And the other way up. How good is that? How good is that? I am super impressed. Look at that. Who would have thought? I'll do a quick read. I'm never in doubt. James, have a look down into the description box below the video and you will see I have a link there to Gifkin's jig, Gifkin's dovetail jig. You can buy them from Cole, but that's not what it's... He'll send them to the States. It's not a problem. Yeah, this is beautiful. What a result. So that's basically how it's going to look from the side. I will be trimming this off. And, you know, this part of the dovetail doesn't really matter. Yep. That is so nice. So nice. Now, as I said before, the dovetails are up the top and at the bottom because that's the mechanical strength. Now, this will support absolutely everything that's going to go into this unit. It's an Australian invention and you can get it from the link that I just said. Have a look in the description box below the video. There's a few links there. I have no affiliation with Cole and Pam. It's just that they are lovely people and their jig works. How's the time going? 20 to 2, or 20 to 1 here for me. All right, I'm going to do the sliding dovetails in the side, but I'm not going to cut them on the shelf quite yet. Before I do that, look, what I'm going to do is I'll strap it and I'll put the rebate in the back, and then we'll leave it for today. The reason I'm going to do the rebate in the back first is because if I do the sliding dovetails first, the bearing on the cutter that I'm going to use, the bearing on this guy, will drop into the dovetails and leave dents in the back of the unit. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this first, and then I'll do the sliding dovetails next week on the show. So hang around if you want to watch me do the rebate, or as you guys in the States would call it, the rabbit. I'll undo this and take it out. Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. I love doing this stuff. And I don't mind the drama. I don't mind a little bit of drama as we're going along. I don't mind the drama if it works. I don't like the drama if it doesn't work, like that bandsaw blade last week. That was annoying. All right, out it comes. I wonder if Cole has decided not to watch the rest of the show. He was panicking. Oh, Dave, you're going to make everyone think my jig's rubbish. It's not rubbish. It's a beautiful jig. You saw how well that went together then. All right, now this cut up, I'm going to lower down quite low for the first cut because I want it to actually scribe all around the box. Where are we? So I'll close that. Now, let me think for a second because having done this, I'm kind of pumped. All right, I'm going to get a strap and lock all of that together. Such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. And it's going to look great. It's going to be a magic box. I love Australian cedar. Now I'm also going to do some, when I relax this, I'm also going to, let me pull this up and focus on what I'm doing. It's slipping through there a little bit. Pull it on there and then push this one down. Needs to be going down to the bottom more. Relax it a touch. I want it down near the bottom. The reason being, that's where all the pressure is going to be from the cutter. Not that it's going to be a lot, but that's where it would be happening. All right. Now, because I'm going to be running this over the top, I don't want the end of this strap to be an issue for me. So I'm going to bunch it up. Actually, I'm going to feed it around here a few times so it can't get in the way. Last thing you want for that to do is get caught up in the cutter. One more time. Good. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So I can do this. Basically, I'm going to sit it over the top and I'm going to run it around and I'm going to do it so it comes up an inch. I need to take an inch out of the back because my backing for this unit is going to be 12 millimeters of that white cedar that we milled from the log last week, and 12 millimeters of plywood to create the French cleat lock. It's a fun project. Okay, ears on. And eyes. Actually, if I bring this over here and raise this up, you can watch what happens down inside there. So this first cut is very shallow, as you can see down here. I'm going to do what's called a climb cut. So I'm going to go with the direction, and that will give me a very splinter-free cut along the edge. And then the next cuts, actually it's going to give me the splinter-free cut on the back of the unit. And then we'll just go slowly with the rest of it. See how we go. Okay, thanks for the show. Off now. Okay, Bernie, won't it spin in the wrong direction in the States? Of course it will. The chalk test pieces were brilliant. They were well advised to do that kind of stuff. Here we go. Run out of room there. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Now, this is the edge. This is the cut that I wanted to have very clean. And that has done that for me, right the way around. I'm past the corner down here, so I can't see inside it when I put the back on. So now I'm going to raise the cutter up a fair bit this time. I'm going to come up to about there. Good. Deeper than this. see it was making chippy noises all over the place, but it hasn't actually shown anywhere. It just sounds ugly while it was happening. Going to go up again. Just going to make sure that that will turn. And I don't like touching cutters while they're in there at that stage. Yep, that's still turning fine. All right. Actually, I might do a cotton cut this time. Smoking up a bit. Yep, we'll go conventional. Turn the other extractor on. Turn the power up on it. It sure is still alive. Leave that one on, I'll turn that other one off. So I've got one of the gates open up the top here. Even though that's opening, I'm going to shut it. Ah, that's good. And that's all good there. Coffee? Ah! All good. Now I need to measure that. Turn that off. What do we got? I need to take another 4 millimeters. So I'll set this up the other way around. To 26 millimeters. I'll use this as a depth gauge. Bring that in, you might be interested to watch that. there. The yellow thing out. All right. I'll release the clamp on the router under the table, raise her up until she's just on it. Beautiful. See that? That's where I'm going to lock it. Good. Right. One final pass. I'll go to the other camera, the big one. There we go. All right, quick read. Nice combination. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll turn this on. This is the Festool dust extractor, which is a hell of a grab. I'm doing that. I've shut this one down on the gate, so we've got the suction coming down underneath. I'll make sure that that will turn still. Yes, turns beautifully. There's no chance of that pin engaging. Turn her on. This one, let's see how we go. A prime cut. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is live, it's going to be warts and all. Wait for it to stop. Alrighty. That's nice. That is nice. So what I have now is the rebate, or the rabbit, in the back. And beautiful dovetail joints all the way around. I will be cutting this top out of the way, and the bottom I'll hand plane. I think I'll just hand plane that one, but the top I'll rip, and then we'll hand plane it in position. How are we doing for time? 1 o'clock. I've gone 1 hour over. This is going to be a spot-on cabinet. Oh yeah. It's just bloody nice and strong. The idea of doing this, I'll grab a couple of these pieces. Is to use some of this in the back as a nice contrast. So basically, this way. That's going to be the contrast of colours. I think that'll be nice. So a couple of different cedars. This one milled from here. Very, very nice. All right, what's next? What's next? What's next? Sliding dovetails. You know what? Why not? While we're doing it, I did say we're going to cover it. I'll take the yellow guy out again. We'll drop this down. We'll put the dovetail cutter back in and see how we go. If you get sick of it, just turn off. That'll be fine. Got him. Lower him down. Now, how am I going to do this? That's right. I'm going to do this possibly in two different manners. And let me think. I'm going to put this in here as well because I want to maintain a lot of control over this while I'm doing this. Now, the thick depth of the sliding dovetail will be about that. Whatever I do, I'm going to lock it there. And I'm going to use the fence over here. Move that out of the way. And undo these. Now on the fence, I don't want the join to be exposed because even if they're only a slightly different situation going proud, it can be a problem. It can be an issue. So I'm going to bring that out to there, unlock that. I'm going to slide this one right across the whole lot there. Unlock it. That one's not going to lock onto anything. This one will. And this one will. Good. Now, where's my plan? Because we have to work off the ends on this particular one. We'll take the strap off now. Which I bet you no one expected it to go this long today. Take that off. And the sides are what we're going to go with. She possibly will. Or she's watching now. Base and sides. How nice. There we go. See the reason for doing things the way that I did. So there's the rebate or the rabbit in under here, and it all looks like a really intricate joint, but she probably will. This, I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, so we need to have, oh, something's happening over there. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Now, I need my plan. I need the plan, wherever it is. Give me a second. That one's there. And that one. Found it. Okay, there's the plan. So I'm going to put a sliding dovetail 110 down from the top, but I'm going to use the top as a reference So it says 20, so we're going to go, let's go 130 for that. I'm not going to use a clearance cutter because with the testing I did yesterday, I didn't need it. 130 to the top of the dovetail. Now this is for my small lenses, as in the short fellows. 130, pretty good there. Lock him. Now, let me think about this. The reason I'm using this is because if I was using, and I'm also going to use these, I'm going to really hold down hard on this and push here. And then I'll get a parallel cut to this. I could use a sled on here or a miter gauge, but I found that if it wasn't secured well, it would kind of vibrate around. There are jigs that you can use for this. And I will just clean my glasses up a little bit before I start this bit. Okay, I'm going to turn the dust extractor down again so it doesn't get a hold as I'm going through. All right. So I've got to be careful with this because there's only a very small reference point here. The other end is going to be easy, but I'm going to do this on this one and that one there, and away we go. But this, very, very crucial. The yellow thing. All right, quick read. Roll on. Okay, here we go. Very slowly and with a lot of control. There you go. That's it. It does not matter that I've gone into there a little bit. Doesn't matter at all. This is the back of the unit. But there's... Okay, so that's the first one. I'm going to do a quick check that I've got the measurement correct. It was 110. I'm 111. That's all right. So, that one. And we're also going to do this one. Now remember, we have to work on the inside. This is one of the good things about the rebate being there. It's saying, have that side down. This is the outside of the unit. Remember, we've got the face mark on it. The only tricky part today has been the fact that there's a taper on the sides, and I wanted to make sure that I got it right. And I'm happy. I think I did get it right. Here we go again. Again, very slowly and with a lot of control here from this push block, which is fantastic. Just slowly. It's not a race. Not a race at all. There we go. Now you'll notice because I was going so slow, there's no tear out. That's just a little curl. Beautiful. All right, now the next one we're going to do is the long one. So it was 180 up from the bottom. So all up, we're 200 from the side. Unlock that. 200. To the underside, which is there. Now this time I'll have a wider reference point up here. I possibly could, Wayne, but then you've got the situation of clamping it to it, and you know the clamps might want to do this kind of thing. Okay, see you later, Woodwork and Whiskers. All right, here we go with this one. Whoop, turn this guy on. Very slowly and deliberate. And this one. There we go. That's my two dovetails. All right, next thing we're going to do is create the ends on it. Now this is very important that we do this with the cutter exactly how it is. Don't move anything. I can't stop at this point. We're engaged to this now. It's there. We can't stop. So I'm going to open these up again. And bring this back. And I'll close that off there. These ones in. Now, I have to cut the shelf, both the shelves, to the correct length. Now to do that, I'm going to strap it back together again. The top and the bottom. And how good are these joints? I just love them. Oh dear. Now that I've said that, I can't push it in because I'm too excited. There we go. And this one, beautiful. Push all of that back like that. And this one, the outside and down. And this one, come on. Why isn't it going in? That one's in there. And this one, stand her up. Did you see that? All right, that's pulled up. Pretty good, pretty good. Have a look at it now. So there it is with the sliding dovetail female section. And basically now we're going to make the pin, but the end is going to be pinned. You dare me to drink any more of it, Wayne? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to measure the length and dock the shelves to the right length when I find my tape measure. Over here. Actually, I'm going to use a steel rule for this because I want to try and make it as accurate as possible. And I'm going to measure, I'll actually measure in it because this timber is really straight. They are 679. 679, and I'm allowing in that 679 for it to pull in a little bit. 679. So I'll go over there, dock it. Both these shelves. Six, 7, 9 is there. We cut these to 700, didn't we, and docked them off square? Yes, we have. So I haven't got to worry about all of that. Bring that back to there. Bring this guy over here. It's not a very exciting part, but you might want to watch. Mouse. Where are you, little mouse? There it is. Go back over to this one. Spin it around. I'm going to check the length with the same rule to make sure that I've got the right length. Turn the lasers on. Yes, that's perfect. Excellent. Right, dock these off. No dust collection because I had that open. Check it again. Beautiful. Close that one. Right. Come back over here. Also less likely to spill. Yes. Now, what I'm going to do is do very, very shallow passes until I get it right. So we've got that. Let me do a measurement over here. Wherever it is, I'll use this rule. The top, sorry, that part there is 14 millimeters. Yep. I'll take it, bring it to me just a little bit more. Unlock him there. Don't forget to lock it, because otherwise, as you're pushing, it's going to go, and you'll end up crying. All right. So how I'm going to do this is I've got the right length. I'll check it again in the job to make sure the length is perfect. It's just perfect. I love it. And we're going to do a cut on a sample. So we're going to do it on a piece of waste. Now I had a piece of waste here before, so I'll dock this down as our piece for trying. Let that open again. close it. Be nice to get an automatic blast gate on that Capex as well. I have it set up to different things here. Now, we'll do a test, and I'm going to use the gripper on its side. We'll bring that camera back over here because this is something you might want to watch. This will probably end up being a 3-hour show. I don't care. About there. Yeah, okay. You can all see that. I'll turn that on. I'll open that gate up there. I don't even know why I've been opening and closing that one. Oh well. Old habits die hard, they say. All right, this one on. Sucking down through there. And this one's going to turn everything else on. Okay, watching. I'm going to do that pass again. Caught on something a little bit there. We'll have a quick look. Okay, needs to be more. Wait for that to stop turning there. I have a scale on the end of this. Don't know if you can see it down here. I have a cursor here. And so I'm going to take it to 39. And then you can watch again. We're nearly there. Oof, that's bloody close. What's it like at the other side? Too tight, but only just, but it is still too tight. Again. Too loose. Yep, too loose. Come back just a touch. I'll cut the end off that. Get another sample. Go again. Still for, I'm just too far. Try that. That's looking pretty good. But rotten thing. Chipped it. Yeah. Still got to go a touch more. See, the thing is, oh, that's perfect. 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 Absolutely perfect. All right, so I can run these now. Just careful taking this out. I'll leave that in there for the second. Here we go. Run them all. Run it again. The other side. What was going on there? Pushing in too tight at the bottom. It'll be okay. Should have said about that bench. Just sitting slightly round. Go slowly at the end. That could be part of my problem. Just a little tight. There she goes. That'll go in. Perfect. Okay. Okay. That's going to do me. Thanks everyone for watching. The fence could have been flexing a little bit. I should have put the other lock down here, but that's the way it goes. How are we doing for time? I'm going to switch the cameras over here. I don't think there's anything else to happen. Good examples. Why to keep scraps can be important. Yep, you like to make the treks all over the Brant's still here, Wayne. I was wondering if the fence was flexing a little bit. All right, 1:30. Look, I'm going to do a quick Patreon chat as well. So if you're interested and you're one of my patrons, jump in. I don't know if anyone's still watching or not. Good night, Don. I've got to go and do some work over in the one of the buildings here and do a bit of tidy up with Vicky. So I can hang around for possibly 20 minutes or so. If you're interested in that, let's do that. Where are we? I'm going to have a quick look here because I'm a fair way away. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. And next week, we'll continue on with this. We'll put the back in it, and I'll show you how the inlay has come up, and we'll sand the inlay off. Fingers crossed that it all happens, because I'm going to actually do it into here. Man, oh man, this is a lovely project. So if you had nothing else to do, you got no life, keep on watching. Look after yourselves, be nice to each other. Patrons, look after me, and thank you so much for that. I will read all their names out next week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.